This morning on Today's Home, we are going inside a celebrity home.
Ivanka Trump allowed cameras inside her New York City apartment for the upcoming October issue of Elle Decor. Ivanka, good morning.
Good morning.
We're getting our sneak peek here first. And I hear the vision of your apartment that was really about designing with the idea of your daughter, who's now 1 year old, but at the time you were pregnant with her, right?
I was pregnant. I was 3 months out from having Arabella, our first child. So I was incredibly in this sort of nesting stage. Everything had to be absolutely perfect. I was going through the apartment with a fine-tooth comb looking for a paint chip. And then Arabella was born, and it started a slow deterioration since then. So I'm glad I got it to where I wanted it to be beforehand.
You basically are in charge of the interior design for the entire Trump hotel collection, which is a feat in itself. And it makes me kind of curious, how is your home design voice different than your business design voice?
Well, it's funny because, we have major projects going on right now, including Durrell, which we just bought in Florida, Old Post Office in Washington, D.C., a great conversion of a historic property. So I spend a lot of time thinking about how people use their space and how to maximize livability, which obviously with a toddler running around is incredibly important at home as well. So just, making sure that an environment has an elegance and a glamour that's appropriate for entertaining, but is also not so precious that it's not livable.
Yeah, I think you say in the article you wanted a place where you could put your feet up on the table, right? You could it could feel lived in.
And it's not really like I'd have a choice because I think regardless, my husband would put his feet up. So I'm just knowing to accommodate that in advance.
I can speak for the guys because there's nothing worse than walking into a really nice house and being afraid to sit down, maybe put your feet up on the coffee table. So you took that into account, and Jared's okay.
And Jared, he's very happy. So he had very few requests, but the ones he did have were fulfilled. And, for us, it's about obviously creating a home, creating a place where Arabella is free to run around. I worked with a great interior decorator, Kelly Bien, who was just a joy to work with. So we had a lot of fun. And there's nothing better.
We were looking at a couple of the pictures there, and I was noticing, the dining room, the living room, very beautiful.
Arabella's
what was sort
bedroom.
of, that's the nursery there.
My
that's
favorite.
your favorite room, right?
Why
is that?
It is.
Obviously, besides your daughter being beautiful and in that room most of the time.
Well, as a first-time mom, the joy of being able to design a nursery was incredible for me, and I used a lot of Pottery Barn restoration hardware. Again, nothing nothing too fragile or precious, but it was really fun. And it's funny because you can tell this is my first because all I wanted was an all-white nursery. I guarantee my next child it will be a dark carpet. So I've had some challenges keeping it that pristine.
Did you give in to the color though in the nursery? Because I know it helps stimulate the baby's brain if you have some color. And you wanted to go all white, but did you cheat a little bit and throw some color?
So I have a beautiful cloud design on the ceiling, a black and white cloud, but I did get nervous when I started reading the baby books and talking about how color is really the first thing you can do for your child to stimulate them. Within around a week, I had one of those tacky, ultra colorful mobiles hanging off my crib, which ruined everything. But again, that's life interfering with design.
Yeah.
Now, what about the dining room? And was there, and I guess something that we can all take away from the design influence there is, do you design around a certain piece or a collectible in mind? How did that come about?
I try for each room to find something that I love and inspire me, and like you said, sort of take that as a cue for the rest of the space. So in the dining room, I found this ceiling fixture by a great glass artist named Lizzie Edelman. So she's terrific, and we have another piece similar to that elsewhere in the apartment. But so that was really the cue from which everything else evolved.
Do you and Jared have the same taste?
We do and we don't. I think he tends towards more stark, more contemporary, where I have a little bit more of an eclectic palette. I like a little bit more color. So it was a fun exercise. You can tell sort of which rooms are which.
I see some color here. Is this his office or your office?
This is our den. So our computers are side by side. It's fun because at the end of the day, we're still, we rush home when we can to obviously spend the night with Arabella. So then right after she goes to sleep, we get to work again. So it's nice being able to do that together and next to each other.
What about the master bedroom? Whose influence won over there?
So the master bedroom is very Jared's taste, although he'd like to get rid of throw pillows. He thinks a lot of things are unnecessary, which obviously I like. But
he's on the pillow thing. Al hates the throw pillows too.
And
they don't like the pillows.
That's the first thing we do. We throw the pillows on the ground.
Down. He's like, what's the point of having all those beautiful pillows? You can just throw them on the floor.
Precisely. I think it's a girl versus guy thing on the throw
absolutely.
pillows.
We like the fluffy fluffy pillows.
Also the fur blanket. He doesn't understand the purpose of that one.
Get out of here with that.
But I think the clean style, it's very modern, it's very soothing, is a nice reflection of both of us.
Are you guys done decorating right now? Because if you're not, we're all in trouble. It looks really good.
It's perfect.
Well, you're never really done. We already have the conversation about, when we start to think about having another child, which is the first room to go. So,
Right.
So I think that's the fun thing. We're always moving in new art. We love contemporary art, so it's obviously that can change really the character of a room. So.
And you're getting ready to get back into the boardroom for Celebrity Apprentice again,
Yes.
right? When does that start up?
We start filming
shooting?
very soon, within the next month. So
How do you fit that in your schedule?
It's wild, but it's a lot of fun. We film right here in New York, and it's the 14th season, if you can believe it. So
Good celebrities.
It's definitely.
Do you know who's on it yet? You can't share, I'm sure.
And this is the network right here,
Right.
NBC. But no, I've sworn away Arabella. So my firstborn child.
We're not getting anything.
Yeah.
Soon we'll find out.
Exactly.
Ivanka Trump, thanks so
Thanks,
much. Great
Ivanka.
to have you here.
It's a pleasure.
It's a beautiful apartment.